Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of me trying to finish my first app. That's right. So this is the price, my first app ever. I have something to do with this app today, which is fixing the payment detail screen. This is the payment detail screen. I know that's look like it's ugly. My UI is not my strength. You can see, I can tell the UI is not my strength. But today I have some fixes in this screen that I wanted to tackle, especially this part over here. Look, if I say like this, if I change this and mark this bill as unpaid and just press, try to close the screen, right? I have to see. I'm prompt with this. I'm prompt with this confirmation dialog. But for this scenario, I don't want to see any confirmation dialog whatsoever because we don't need it. Because this action of pay and unpay a bill should behave the same way as this toggle here. If we toggle this, mark this, I think this is a radio button. So we mark as paid and unpaid. We don't need any confirmation. This is really, I think this is a really nice user experience. And I want the same in this part over here. So this is the first thing. Unpay, just save. And I don't want to see this confirmation dialog. The confirmation dialog should appear only when I change the value of bill. Like this, I don't know, put a new value here. And then a confirmation should appear because this is asking whether or not I want this change to be applied only for this payment or to the next payments. So I say update only this one. You will see only the current payment will be updated. But also, if I change this again, let me change this again. And this dialog appears and I want to change the next ones as well because in this example, let's say that this bill is already changed the price now. The next payments will be the same as this one that I just changed. So I wanted to click here and have the action, update all the future payments. And this is not implemented yet. Today I want to follow TDD to tackle this. TDD. I'm just thinking, I think it will be fun to try do those changes with TDD and see how it goes, right? TDD is a recommended pattern. It's not a pattern, it's recommended. Is a software engineer technique. Is a technique. Okay. I think that's gonna be fun. How's it going? Hi there, how's it going? I'm back. Yeah, this is a time skip because my computer just could handle the video. My microphone stopped working out of nowhere. My camera stopped working. I didn't notice when I was recording, when I was talking about TDD, the tests, all this stuff. And I lost everything I did. And I lost everything I show off during the implementations, my TDD path. So yeah, we already have the tests and what I implemented. So let me just go what I implemented. What I did was the pay and dismiss the screen without confirmation. Look, now if you change this, we don't need to any confirmation. That's the best. That's a better user experience in my opinion because it has the same behavior as this toggle over here. It's just okay, you just save and that's it. And what I did here was I had to create a entire test for this view model because what I like to do, I hope this video is recording. What I like to do is to cover my view model with tests. And so because they are the center point of all interactions of the app when you're using architectures like MVI, that it's my case. So let me show you the one test. So this is a test that I created. When the status has changed, the confirmation dialog should not appear. So I implemented this. I had implemented this with TDD. So I went to the red, green refactor cycle. But here you can see that I'm just testing the view model. View model is my unit under test. just like I like to mention here. So it's edit payment view model. It's the view model in charge of this screen over here. Okay, so we have a lot of setups to make this work when we dealing with integration test. To be more specific, this is the type of test that I like to write. Integration test. What that means? We are testing not only the view model but the integration across the integration among other components or the dependencies that this view model has. So here we are just initializing the in-memory database with one bill and a couple payments for that bill, specific bill. And we are initializing the save state handle, which is just a hash map that will be used by the view model. The view model will try to access this parameter here, this property here, the ID. So the view model can retrieve the payment information and the bill information as well, because some parts of the screen requires bill information, not only payment. Okay, and then after that, we start listening to the emissions from this view model. That's what we do in MVI. MVI, we just expose a UI state and a single function that takes the actions that the screen has. Actions, intents, events, whatever you want to call, but every interaction you have with the screen, such as this click over here, is considered a intent, a action. So these actions will be represent as this seal classes here. It's like this. We just use seal. I use seal interfaces, but you can use seal classes, whatever you want. So these are all the actions you can trigger, or all actions this screen supports, if you will. That's how we structure our view models. So view model, pretty simple, has a state over here and events, and take events as arguments. And that's how I like to test it. Make the test really simple, because we use Turbine. That's what I use. I use Turbine to make to consume the emissions. So over here, I just keeping the two initial emissions that we have, which one is the empty state and another one is the initialization state, which is I already have a test here covering this. So this skipping the empty state, and then I expect to receive all these informations in the initial state. And of course, I can add and ensure that all events are consumed. Just make sure that there are no emissions anymore. Emissions sent by this view model. Okay, but here, as I was saying, that's the test that I wrote. So when you change this, you interact with this, the pay or not paid, and you press save, we should not see the confirmation dialog. And that's how it works. I send an intent, an event on status change. That happened when you click there. That happened when you click like this. And then I just check the status, the state. So status has changed, should be true. Can save should be true. This can save as this property is what enables this button over here. And then after that, I execute another action that is on save. So I send another intent to the view model, which is the brass of the user. And I just check that the asking confirmation is false, should be false. So the dialog will not appear, and the status is saving, the loading status is true. So this inform me that the saving mechanism started. And after that, I expect to receive another emission telling me that the saving is false because we finished, and just a confirmation that the information was saved successfully with this is saved property. That's how we do it. Beautiful. And then I ensure that it's no more emissions. And here I just do an extra validation because it's important. This is the nice thing about integration tests, because this event sync queue is the data structure that is saving all the data, all the payloads, all the events that we have to send to the backend in order to sync the changes you're doing here. So I'm just checking if the event we have in this queue is the same one that we changed in that screen, same payment we changed that screen. That's what I'm doing. So just grab whatever you have in the queue, convert this to a payment DTO, which is the information we're gonna send to the network, and then I just check if the actions update, because this is what we did here. We update this payment, and I also just check if the IDs of the payment is the same. The payment we are using in this screen, in this view model, is the same one that I'm trying to send to the backend. That's how I check the synchronization mechanism, on top of checking if all operations regarding the confirmation dialog is working. So that's I think this is the advantage of using integration test, because you can validate a bunch of components in a single test. But the downside is that your test is kind of crowded with too much information, and sometimes the title of your test do not explicitly tells what you're testing, because here I'm just testing the dialog should not appear. Okay, I did this just with this in this portion over here, but the remaining is an extra test validation for synchronization. I should create a separate test for this, but I'd rather not. I like to keep this in the same place. I don't know. And here we have another test just to validate whether or not when you change the price, the dialog still appears. That's this test guarantees that when you change the price, like here, we're going to see the dialog, because this is asking confirmation is true, and just checking here. The saving should be false, because we don't trigger the saving mechanism. So that's it. That's what I did. Yeah, I'm back again. This is another time jump, I guess that's how we say it. And I just wanted to walk you through this final round of tests, because I finished the last change that I was missing in my app, because this is the change that I was mentioned when you change a value here to something. Like house rent, change to this, and you will be prompted with this. You'll be prompted with this dialog, and you can select if you want to apply this change only for this specific payment or for all the next payments as well. And this feature, as you can see, is working. This is the current month, March, not the current, but this is the month that I'm selected. And then April changed, in May changed as well, but the previous month should remain the same value as before. And as you can see here, everything still the same after the month that we changed. And that's was the change that I did, and I want to walk you through the tests, because I implement this using TT as well, like I'm already doing for this new features that I'm implemented, because I don't know, I'm kind of bored trying something more exciting, and I think this is really fun to do. So let's walk you through. So this is the standard initialization, as already mentioned, but this is the first test. Okay, this test check if a change to a month will affect other payments, or a change to a payment will affect the future payments. That's what this test is aiming for. Here we just use a value, and then I skip the part of saving and confirmation. I go straight. I go ahead and go straight through. I go straight to the on change of future payments event, which is only allowed after the user see the confirmation, when the user see the confirmation dialog over here. So this is the button that triggers this event over here. But for testing, because it's all cool, I just keep everything and just trigger this right away. And then I ensure all events are consumed. I don't do any validation on the view model state. But what I do, I leverage again the instrumentation. We call it not instrumentation, but integration test to check the event queue again. And I check whether or not we have an event that is a bill with payment DTO. Bill with payment DTO, just a data class that contains the bill and the payments affected by the change, or when we create a bill. This happened as well. This is the DTO that I send to the my backend, because contains the new bill and all the payments that were generated. So let's check this information. Check the queue has a single event. This is important for the next test, because, and then I test just if this is an update. Check the value of the bill. Bill now has a new value. So every other payments that will be generated on demand will have this new value that it just changed. And then I check whether my local database has 3 payments, and I check cert that I only send 2 payments to the backend, because this change, the change that I triggered only should affect the current payment and the next one, not the previous, because this is how I set up. This is the payment that I send to my view model, is the payment in the middle month, if you will. So that's how I can emulate this scenario. And then after that, I just also assert that all the payments that I send to the backend has the same price, the same amount as the bill. But that's it. That's all what this test does. I just ran manually, but that's the first test. And the second test, so as you can notice, this is a kind of not a too clouded test per se. I think this is look good, but yeah, I like to test. And a fun fact is that I didn't even ran the test manually after I was so certain that this was working. This was working because of the integration test. So I really I fully trust on this type of tests. They are really reliable tests. That's why I like to write tests like this. But yeah, the downside is that these tests are really hard to set up. And the last one, just going to the last one, which is an important one, more complex. As you can see here, is a way more clouded than the first one, is this scenario over here. Let me show you. Let me grab another one. Personal training, right? Let me make sure we have everything right here. Personal training, we want to change the March, okay? But we're gonna set new value, change the value again, 400, mark as paid. Only March should be paid, and the future ones should not. They should remain the same status, but the value should change. Let's see this in the next one. So this personal training is paid, and the next one shouldn't be paid exactly, and may also remain the same, but with the new value. That's it. So 2 changes, status and value. What happened here? So for this test, I did the same setup, initialization. The month in the middle. I changed the value, and then I also changed the status for this payment. Called the on-change all future payments. What happened is that my queue should have 2 events now. The first one should be this payment DTO, which is the single payment change with the new status, the mark as paid. So this is what I'm testing here. And the second event should be the object, the bill with payments, that has the bill and payments change, which is the new amount, the new value. And here just validate if only one of the payments, the one that I changed, the current month that I changed, has the status as paid. So it's kind of more complex to test, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Testing like this and is totally reliable. It's exactly the behavior that I expect for my synchronization. And because I have this synchronization mechanism working fine, I also know that my storage, my local storage, is also working fine. And also my parsing is looking really fine, because I can, decode a event to a DTO. So I know all the layers are working fine just by doing a test in a view model. That's how I do it. My app is ready for testing. So I would leave the test link for Android in the description, so you can check it out, and help me out with the alpha testing, because I need 12, I think it's 12 testers, active testers, to be able to to publish this app. So yeah, now help me out, guys. Just download this. This is also I will leave the repository also in the description. The link for this repository. This app is open source. You can check it out all the code. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Hope you like it. Leave a like and subscribe. All this good stuff. Okay. Bye bye.